Welcome back to Terra Invicta. Mars needs moms is a thing that's probably going to be the title of this episode. See, the thing is, since the last time we met, a lot has happened. Not a lot of it was very interesting, but let's break it down. As you can see over here on the right-hand side, we now have an enormous number of Mars bases, but only one of them is actually really fully completed. The original Mars Base 1, arrived on time, deployed itself. You can see it's got that nice space mining outpost complex there. I put a second fission pile for power for when we get construction going, but that's not going to be for quite a while. After I had enough leftover boost, it was starting to take 25-30 boost, but we had enough pouring in that we just started taking up all the sites on Mars. We got less than half, but more than a third, I'd say, and we're kind of naming them and marking them down based on the resources that they bring in. We've tried to lock out anybody from getting the two big supplies of fissile materials, which gives us pretty much sole control over fissiles. We've tried to lock in noble metals, base metals. Volatiles are becoming increasingly popular, and it looks like Project Exodus managed to pick up both the moons of Mars. Now, if you're a fan of the Expanse, you might not know this, but Mars actually has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, and they both are juiced with volatiles and some water, but they give nothing else, which is a really questionable why you would start there. But this is the AI, and also that amount of volatiles is quite good. Now, this isn't the only bases that we have. We of course have the original moon base, and as more of our Mars bases come online, it might be worth considering giving the moon base to a worthy faction like Humanity First, in order to ensure their cooperation and maybe get useful orgs from them or some sort of concession of some kind. We also have, I call it the Comet Base. It's technically on an asteroid that is on a kind of loop here. As you can see, it has a very skewed plane of orbit, so it doesn't often interact with other celestial bodies, giving it a stable orbit. With that said, because it has such a skewed orbit, that means that any ships traveling to and from it need to match that orbit. And so it takes a lot more juice, takes a lot more energy to leave and arrive here. So this base is set up because the local area, this moon, that's the moon, because this object has a good supply of noble metals. In fact, I believe it has the best supply of noble metals that you can find that isn't already taken. I guess if we go to 135 Hertha, but, you know, maybe we should be going there, actually. This nice big metallic asteroid. Yeah, you know what? We probably will. We'll wait until we have 6 boost, and then we'll send it out there. Because we have a good supply of all of the regular materials, we no longer need to boost them into orbit. They're part of our space economy, so we barely need any beyond the initial boost to drop a habitat to get things going. With that said, now that I found out that there is another site of noble metals, we do want to secure that as soon as possible. Some of these bases that I've set up on Mars will probably abandon later, giving them away to Humanity First or other worthy candidates. But here is that asteroid comet base, 3753 Kruthny. And I was hoping to pick up Ceres at some point, but I don't think the probe has arrived on Ceres to give us that information yet. Yeah, because it's not under prospecting, that means the probe hasn't arrived. Is Ceres even listed here? What's going on? I'm betting our probe just hasn't arrived. It takes like 400 plus days to get to Ceres. Yeah, there's no probe yet. Let's see how long until that bad boy arrives. 5th February 2027. Well, here we are on 16th January 2026. We've pulled ahead of the current time. I will note, for this episode and for all following episodes, it's gonna be filled with spoilers about the aliens. I've given little hints so far, but nothing too extreme. I do need to fill in about the stuff we've missed so far, so yeah, it's gonna be spoiler-ish from here on out. If you were thinking of getting the game, it's your time to decouple your train and go on your own route, brother. You gotta get out of here, because we're about to start spoiling some of the big questions, as Uncle Eero would say. Who are you, and what do you want? Well, we've learned about who the aliens are and what they want. So, the aliens, we've completed several of the story missions that are pretty minor. They did have like 1 or 2 voice lines, but they weren't the major ones that do big reveals. With that said, we did find out that the aliens are bad no-no, and that they've come here and are taking teenagers whose parents are politicians and having the teenagers get involved in the politics, try to steer politics. So we know that they are not exactly replacing people, but the people who returned aren't the same as when they left. And we've also learned that we can detect their alien operations, and we've started tracking. Let's see here. I believe it's we've started the ability to track them, and we are developing. Defend the Earth develops an independent organization that increases our control point cap by 40, and that independent organization is needed to complete the end game mission. It's very powerful org. We're gonna have to give it to our command counselor, because that's who's probably going to carry us to the end. They're gonna be our end game counselor. But we're tracking aliens all over the globe. We've also learned that they have the ability to completely ignore all previous lines of politics. Finland used to be 2 control points of Project Exodus that were shielded. We learned that the aliens can go to a control point and forcibly give it to the servants with a shield on it, no questions asked. And we could see that the servants are getting pretty popular up here in the Scandinavian Nordics. Not ideal at all. So there is absolutely a counselor running around, an alien counselor running around in Russia, the Scandinavian Nordics. But because we are set up here in this area, I think they're staying away from the European Union, which, as you may have noticed, has gotten a little bit bigger. Just to fill us in on that, we have taken away from building boost here in the European Union. We are now trying to boost our economy very strongly, because our per capita GDP has dropped a lot. But our actual GDP is up. What was the starting GDP? Like 3 trillion? It's up to 7.5 trillion now. So we're up about triple. Sustainability is good. We're in the blue zone. We're at 3.0. Can't do very much else about that. Knowledge continues to rise. We're spending points in knowledge. It's not really a priority, but we would like to get it above 12 at some point. We're just not ready for that yet. We're not ready for that push. We're really needing the European Union to kind of stay very average and level out. And these are the 2 most important stats: keeping inequality low and keeping cohesion towards 5. Now, our cohesion will automatically trend towards 5.27, but it needs a little boost, which is why we're throwing unity at it. Every time we add a new state, cohesion tanks. And since we have plenty more states to add, cohesion is going to continue to tank. But you can see we are trying to get Serbia, Romania, Moldova all in there. We're waiting for the shields on Hungary and Slovakia to drop so that we can attack the protectorate there. These are kind of our emphasis points right now. Oh, I guess I forgot about the Netherlands. The Netherlands is building its funding, and once that funding is fully fleshed out, we're going to go ahead and get them in the EU as well. Now, Kazakhstan, we have leveled Kazakhstan out. As we no longer require huge amounts of boosts, we can already get stuff out to Mars repeatedly. Once we are done building Mars bases, the next thing to go to will be Mercury. It's going to be a while before we go to Mercury. We are in an immediate rush for more boost. So rather than increase the amount of boosts we have at epic numbers, we're just going to level it out and make it a minor part. We need to reform Kazakhstan to make it an attractive entrant into a future super European Union. Once the EU gets the ability to absorb Russia and Russia's claims on Kazakhstan transfer to the EU, we are going to want a Kazakhstan that is good, happy, and healthy. And let's be honest here, Kazakhstan built this country. Kazakhstan built this nation, this faction. Kazakhstan is the center point of the world. I hate to say it, but Kazakhstan and the Gulf states are the two most important locations to starting. They are our bootstraps that got us in, because we are now in the late early game phase. Boost is less important. We are now shifting to the importance of industry, and the importance of industry will end at the end of the late early game when we move into the importance of research. The end of that is getting the research campus. If you get research campuses, they are space bases that allow you to research at a speed greater than you would be able to on Earth. You can get as much research coming out of Mars as you would the United States or China, the two big research companies at the beginning of the game, very quickly, and basically double or more our research quite fast, as long as we have the materials, which we do, and the money, which we also do, to pay the price for that. So, getting to research campuses is now a very important tech tree for us. And fortunately, we are on that path already. So let's see. I believe research campuses is... Oh, it's not called that. It is called... It's on the covert operations tree, I think. So let's see here. Okay, so covert operations, we still need quantum encryption, which means we need quantum computing, which means... And there it is. Quantum computing gives us research campuses. Fantastic. Which means we need advanced atomic manipulation. And look at that! The research that I introduced and we're currently boosting is advanced atomic manipulation. So, if we control this at the end, which it seems pretty likely that we will without serious interference from the servants, we will continue to go down the tree towards covert operations, which along the way will also give us research campuses, which is fantastic. What other things can I babble about? We have some Earth orbitals. I haven't talked about that. They are taking up some of our mission control. They are costing us money to run. They cost resources that we have. They took a little while to get set up. First up is Earth Dock 1, which is our space dock. It's a space station that builds ships. This is in low Earth orbit, and it has a single xenology lab. Now you see here that it generates 5 science, which is pretty good. That's bigger than most small countries. It also gives a 10% bonus to xenology research. We have 2 things currently using xenology research here, which is why we're at plus 39%. We'll talk about that more later. And, we'll talk about it right now, because we have a Xeno Lab. 2 more on a space station that provides another 20% for a total of 30%, which is what we want. We absolutely need to be knocking out the park here with xenology research, because we need to research the aliens. But the additional science we're getting from these cannot be understated. We also have a life sciences station, which gives us a bonus to welfare. It gives us a boost to life sciences research, but it also gives us a 3% bonus to welfare investments down on the planet. Since we have 2 of these, that means we get a 6% boost, which means we get a little bit more juice for the squeeze. You know what I mean? Anything we can do to speed up the EU's transformation into a super nation, we need to be doing. We need to be giving it every shot at life that it can have. We also have a space sciences research center as well, you can see this is giving us a 3% bonus to mission control, which means all of those mission control stations that we're building in small countries down there are building 6% faster. Fantastic. Let's see, what else can I talk about? The Xenology Lab has another slightly hidden benefit. You can see it says down at the bottom, grants a +1 bonus to alien detection on Earth if the module is in an Earth interface orbit. Earth interface orbit is Earth low orbits 1 and 2. This is in low orbit 2, so it is in Earth interface. So whenever a investigator is attempting to scan for aliens, they will add a +1 to their, their skill rating, which will determine the percentages of how good they can possibly be. With a +3 going in right now, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, it's like having a +3 to our skill, which is a considerable swing of like 15 or more percent. Someone smarter than me can do the math, but that's a big shift in our ability to detect the aliens, because getting a face-to-face contact with the aliens is kind of our current quest. Let's see here. We're researching the alien movements, which we are doing, and then we need to start... I think researching alien movements is going to allow us to see them, finally, rather than just detect their passing, and then we can start shooting them, which is, great. Who doesn't love shooting aliens? Okay. Anything else I need to cover? We've got the Earth orbitals, research campuses. We killed a bunch of servants. Somebody captured 2 different servants down here in Thailand, in Bangkok. They were two different servants captured in the same place. I have... oh, that's right. I turned a servant counselor. We should talk about that. You can see here that we've penetrated them because we turned Kyun Loan Nguyen. As long as this mission chances at 0% fail, that means that this agent will continue carrying out missions regularly with no compromising benefits. So the servants have a low chance of detecting we're in, but now we know all of their other agents, where they are, who they are, and what they're doing. So we can track them around the globe, and then maybe do a little bit of extra research on them and shoot them. So when we found out that there were 2 captured agents here in Thailand, I sent 2 assassins. Guess what? Humanity First also sent their entire squad down here, and, my second agent failed to get the kill, but Humanity First just stacked up and got that second guy, fucking nailed him. So, as an agent is killed, you have to get a new agent. Now, you can, of course, slap as many of their old orgs on them, and if you had admin orgs on the person who died, slapping them on can allow you to bootstrap more orgs to a person very quickly, but they lose all their experience and skills, right? And probably they're not going to be as good as the person you initially chose. Hopefully, even for the AI, they're picking premium candidates who don't have a lot of drawbacks. The later agent pool can start having more and more drawbacks. We are going to, keep farming the servants occasionally, killing their agents, slowing them down as the agents die. Because their stats lower, it also means their control point cap lowers. So they start losing control of the countries that they have, etc., etc. I think that covers most of it. This is a 20-minute recap to cover something like 3 hours of gameplay. Sorry about that, friends. But hey, that does mean that we skipped 3 hours of not very interesting gameplay to get to here. All right. The next big researches we will need are industrialization of space. That's going to complete on its own. That will give us the construction module. It will also allow us to get improved shipbuilding for bigger shipyards. And the nanofactory, which is very important. The nanofactory is the upgrade of the construction module, which also makes money. When the nanofactory is not being used to construct things, it uses a tiny bit of your resources at the top. Not as much as the mine it's hooked up to is putting out, hopefully. But it'll use a tiny bit of resources and generate money for you instead, which can be fantastic. Some people put up whole fields full of nanofactories on Mercury. In fact, Mercury is in high demand for that reason. Mercury you want to cover with operation centers and nanofactories, and to some extent also research campuses. Anything that you don't want to be at a high level of vulnerability at the furthest point from the alien base, aka Mercury, you want to stick there, and we're going to have to set up fleets to defend it. Now, with that shipyard we have in orbit, we need to start considering when we're ready to fight the alien menace. Where did that alien ship go? Maybe it's parked at the servant station? I don't know. People starting to set up a lot of stations out here. Gets confusing. I'm sure we can head on here and go to the alien faction and see some of their fleets, some of their bad fleets. There is nothing on Earth. Interesting. Well, it's hard to say that it's bad for there to be no Earth orbit ships, but here we go. The surveillance ship is on its way back from... Where is that? Is that the moon? That can't be, because it's not very long. Maybe it went all the way back to Dione or Ariel or something, one of the shipyards, in order to recharge its fuel. But, yeah, it's on its way back. When it arrives, we may want to consider sending something to kill it. That's because we have an objective to... Where's our objectives list? Over here. We have an objective to salvage alien technology. Now, we don't want to be killing lots of aliens all the time, but killing one ship in order to get the materials from the dead alien ship, to reverse engineer them, that's a good start. You want to get that sooner rather than later. It's called exotic material. Now, keen-eyed viewers may notice this cool new graph over here. This is the alien hate meter. This hate meter detects how many mission control we're using and how angry the aliens are at us. Every time we bully and shoot and steal stuff from the Protectorate or from the servants, or if we attack the aliens directly, this hate meter will go up. If this hate meter goes above 100 equivalent mission control, the aliens will begin attacking us relentlessly. We can increase that cap with various technologies, but at a certain point, it will become impossible not to go over the cap. And also, at a certain date, randomly determined, but usually around 2035 to 2040, the aliens will go to full total war with us. That bar will turn red permanently and it will never go down. The aliens will launch unending waves of attacks, which is why we need to be at least on technological parity with them by that time. We are also on the clock now. Anytime around like 2029 to 2035, the aliens could be launching a landing ship. So this is going to be a ship filled with alien armies. It'll land somewhere randomly on the planet. Usually it lands somewhere not great. Sometimes it lands somewhere really great, like it lands in America, and then things go very poorly for us because they'll probably win the war against America and take control of their government, which is quite bad. If it lands like somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, like in Weno, Micronesia, that's actually great. I've only seen that happen once. Normally they land in Brazil. For me, they land somewhere in South America. Yeah. If you can't destroy it in orbit, which normally destroying the first one is quite difficult to do because we just don't have the technology to swing it. And we definitely don't have the technology to swing against its escort ships. You need to be willing to employ nuclear barrages or have a really big army. Unfortunately, we don't have a really big army. We only have one army unit in the EU, and I'm hoping to fold Ukraine in sooner rather than later to get a second one. And if someone can boot Humanity First out of the UK so we aren't seen as attacking them directly, we might be able to pick up the UK's Army Navy. Great. So I said it was a 20-minute recap. It's a 25-minute recap. Let's get back underway. God, over half the video is going to be recap at this point.
When faced with a large problem,
Well?
we must think small. Look to the Mongoose, fearlessly striking down the king cobra, or to the Eurasian stoat, killing prey nearly 10 times its mass. Chancellor Li Qingzhao, lecture at Tsinghua University.
So this is unlocked nanotube armor, which is a super lightweight, very cheap armor. This is great to have. It is a counterpart. So adamantium's like a more serious armor, and we definitely want that. But nanotube armor is perfect for our suicide sleds. We've also got next generation aerospace, which is a good research, but it's no longer as necessary because we've made it to Mars already. They've chosen to go down the kinetics warfare doctrine, which is a pretty strange choice for the Academy, but one that's good for us. So they're trying to develop railguns, but this will also get the 40mm autocannon. I have not used this that much. It was introduced in patches after I had played the game and beaten it 3 times. Apparently it's extremely strong. It's a very strong point defense weapon at intercepting projectiles and to some extent missiles. But if you skate within like 250 meters of an enemy ship, the 40mm autocannon will instantly tear the enemy apart. Now, you usually don't get ships that close together, but the aliens like to fly fancy sometimes. And if they skate close enough that the 40mm autocannons of the fleet can go nuts, we're going to let them. We are going to let them.
I will help them.
That's NATO power, baby. 40mm autocannon shooting tons of ammo. Hey, we detained this guy, and I believe we're about to try to kill him. This is a servant, right? Which one is it? It's this guy. Yeah, he's captured.
Mission in progress.
We have a 96% chance to kill him. We are successful. Perfect. We're out here.
People will come to our side.
Farming counselors for sure.
Order is returning.
Oh, somebody's attacking Ukraine, and it looks like it's the dang servants. Oh yeah, before we forget about it, we do want to go to that prospecting place. 135 Hertha. Go ahead and put down roots here to walk you through how we do it. We've got Hertha Base. We'll just call it Hertha Base 1. Real simple. We'll call it Hertha Noble 1. That way we know why we're using this base, which can be important later. You might end up with too much of one thing and not enough of another and need to give up some bases. Is it worth putting up a space dock out here? I'm not sure. Gravity's pretty low, right? 5.2 milli-Gs is pretty low. We almost certainly will be able to get even medium-sized ships off the surface. I don't know. I think it makes it more of a target. It definitely becomes a sort of target of military rather than civilian value. So we'll leave off for now.
You'd be better off surrendering than sitting around on your backsides waiting for supplies from home. If you don't know how to use what you find in the field, you've lost before you even begun. Colonel Hans Castillo, 5 moves ahead.
Hans is so based for that. We're doing arrival economics, which is preparing the various nations of the Earth for the alien invasion economically. Got some good stuff in here. Civilian photonic computing is good. Stakeholder subversion is good. Alright, looks like the aliens in South America are messing with the edge of French territory, Kourou. Oh, we have a lot to do this turn. Alright, unfortunately, I didn't realize this. Switzerland can't be entered into the EU. We need to get a later technology. So holding on to them right now is a slight anchor around our neck. However, I'm not going to let them go.
I'm here.
We need to punish the foolish counselors of the servants who are coming at us. So we're going to juice some ops and some additional teams, satellite info, that sort of thing, to capture this guy, even if the capture fails, we are still pushing a pretty strong assassination mission.
Ready to go.
We are sending
We'll see.
our command agent to Koro
Standing by for
in
orders.
order to research alien activity. And then Julian does not have, this is unfortunate, he does not have the scan trait, so he can't scan for more activity. So there's not really a purpose to sending him to South America right now. Guess we can send him to keep some of our nations under better control. I think maybe we'll push Kazakstan, we'll stabilize it a little bit more.
We'll make things safe.
Alright, picking up Copperhead missiles is good. Copperheads are pretty much the recommended initial push. You get 2 missiles for every 1 ammo, I believe, and they travel pretty quickly. We want to get out of that as soon as possible because we're going to want torpedoes. I think a lot of people use Artemis torpedoes nowadays. They might have changed the mechanics. Originally, stuff like Copperhead was very popular, but Artemis is now very popular, as are like Athena nuclear torpedoes and stuff like that. Did the servants replace that guy I killed yet? Yeah, they immediately bought somebody else.
We've got the package.
All right, with this guy captured, there's a very strong chance we're going to shoot and kill him.
Target eliminated.
And we did shoot and kill him. Isn't that nice?
Violence is abating.
They've already replaced him. Now the thing
Here's
is,
what we found.
every time they're buying a new counselor, it's costing them influence they could be using to do something else. How are they doing on influence? They're starting to run low. Alright, Protectorate really pissed me off. They took this thing in Ukraine. So we're gonna figure out who this mysterious agent is who attacked our Ukraine base.
Civilian target.
And it looks like somebody
Where do you
tried to
need
take this from...
Ready for my mission. Terminating the opposition.
Acknowledged.
Okay. Alright, we lost our defense point in the Netherlands.
Standing by. Securing our interests.
Standing by.
We can get Ukraine in the Federation. We should probably do that sooner rather than later here.
Heading to the capital.
Standing by.
This is our assassin. Yeah, this guy can just take a blind shot at Nick Bustamante at a pretty good rate of success.
My sights.
Securing our control.
Give it a shot. These are not really worth researching.
Person of interest surveilled. The target is down.
Alright, servants are now down to 35 influence. They are getting quite a lot of it, though. Well, that is bad. That might
Mission
prevent
complete.
us from federating Ukraine. Nope. We got it. We got it. Alright. Well, here's Heisenberg here. So remember that thing about a government agent earlier? We're now taking the bad parts of being a criminal. Zelalem Abdimelech was supposed to be done with this life, yet as the polite man with a goatee sitting across the table from him calmly explains, it's not as simple as that. He's accumulated certain debts and expectations in the underworld, and simply working for the resistance now hasn't changed that. Nevertheless, it won't be anything too big. Don't worry about it. Just a small favor for old time's sake. So we could hurt Ukraine, or we could hurt Ethiopia, Or we could have a 75% chance to be... So this is that 10 purple symbol there on critical success. That's alien exotic materials. 5% chance of 1 in 20 to grab that is not good on a 75% chance to get detained. But having that would be great. I don't like these 50% chances, especially hurting Ukraine. I'm trying to get Ukraine into... What's the bad part of this? They're detained at their current location. Where is their current location?
Up here.
How bad is it? Oh, they're in Ukraine. Okay, so Ukraine is our territory, so getting detained there isn't as bad as it could be. I think we're going to take the shot at Ethiopia, because I don't give a shit about Ethiopia. He's detained. Okay, that's bad. And he's known to several factions that aren't the best friends with us. All right, because he's detained, we've taken a big hit on our org management. We also need to protect him.
Standing by for orders.
I believe our command counselor is the only person we have that has protection. So we're going to start by washing a lot of our
Initiating deep
agents of their past sins. Anybody that has like significant hostility, yeah, I mean that's Protectorate right there. We need to get him out of the limelight.
At your service.
Very unfortunate. This guy is gonna be vulnerable for 1 turn, is the problem right now.
Reporting in.
We're also going after that Protectorate agent we've found.
Taking them
If
down.
he is the problem here, we need to get rid of him. Protect Ukraine.
Making things safe for our people.
Okay. An alternative, better way to do this would also be to flood Ukraine with as many agents as possible who are also running surveillance missions to reveal any agents, so that if people show up, they get nervous because they're immediately detected and they want to go to ground as soon as possible. But, you know, we need
At your
our
service.
command agent to wipe the slate clean of what she's got right now, and then she'll spend the next 3 turns using protect target to protect our good man Zelalim. So if he's gonna die, it's probably gonna be this turn.
Securing our interests.
Evading pursuit.
Going into hiding.
One would not send a swordsman to fight a tank. Neither should we voyage into the unknown armed with only the primitive tools of self-defense we cling to here on Earth. Director Khalid Alashkar, Investment Pitch Deck for Future Space LLC.
Wow, they finished that one fast. Independence movements is up. So this is the technology that makes it so that it's easier for servants to take control of nations. When you have a coup or a riot or something, if the independence movement for that area has been set up, there's a chance that it'll break up into its constituent nations rather than just remain as one single thing. However, it also means that you can break up larger nations like China into smaller nations, or Russia into a lot of smaller nations, and then give those smaller nations away piece by piece to something like the super EU as you get more CP. So it's not all bad. It can be good, and there are definitely strategies to try to make every country in the world part of one super government. That's tough to do. That's really tough to do. You have to follow some pretty specific paths, but forming like 3 or 4 big super nations you control that have incredibly robust economies and tons of people and are very difficult for enemy agents to manipulate is a good endgame strategy. One thing I haven't been doing is building more stuff on Mars. So let's go ahead and do that real quick while we've got a shot here. I don't know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to include this part because it's kind of boring, but we need to take an analysis of what we've currently got a lot of. We can really boost the hell out of our water income. And that's not a bad thing to have a lot of, because water is heavy. It's heavy, it's difficult to get off of the planet, and the first few drives, some of them can use a ton of water. By drives, I mean engine drives for spaceships. We're gonna call this Mars Water 2. I already have a Mars Water 1, I believe. And we'll fission pile, and you can see that if we just build it in space, it's super duper easy. And so all it's costing us is the initial boost to get these bases down, which is why we're going to keep throwing some more down. We can get probably 2 more. I'm thinking we'll go for Arcadia Planitia. This is going to be Mars Water 3. Same deal, just simple fusion pile and outpost mining complex. As we get higher tier outpost cores, there'll be more slots available for more buildings. It gets nuanced. It gets nuanced, audience. And we're going for Promote Terra as well. Oh, it's not letting us build here. Oh, it's because we're capped out on mission control. Well, then that's the end of my space expansion. This is a great space start. I don't normally build the space stations up here, the Earth docks and all that. This is actually a diversion for me. I normally go for maximum space economy, but I'm gonna try getting the early bonuses to xenology and alien tracking underway, and really put those other bonuses to research to work. So we'll see how that. It's a interesting new strat. Oh shit. That's bad. That's very bad. Oh my god, he rolled a 100. Alright, well now he's under imminent and dangerous threat. It's interesting that he's known to the servants but not to the protectorate. That's crazy. And the aliens! They're out in Oz. Wow, there's so much to do right now. We're gonna have trouble pushing our political goals. And we lost one of our mission control because another guy got captured. Great. Probably his orgs got stripped, and with his org stripped, we're also losing control cap, which means our nations are very easy to flip. Boy, we're in a horrible situation right now, honestly. This is not good. All right, let's protect the guy that is captured in Ukraine first, because he's a known target that has been out for a while. We also want to flood the zone here.
Ready.
Help out our guy. Anybody that's got
Where to?
good. We're just out of thing. Both of our people who can use surveillance or investigate the alien thing are captured.
Standing by for orders.
Our espionage and our investigator. Listen, if both of them die, we may have to roll this save back a few turns. This is really quite awful, and we're not prepared to deal with it. I hate to roll the save back. I hate even considering it, but we're in quite a bad situation right now. This is very not good. I think we'll operate a second agent here in whatever, the Georgia, just so that there's somebody to help this guy out. Maybe they'll help detect or something. I don't really know. I'll have someone in the jail with them to watch. Boy, this is a tense time.
Culture?
Kieran Banerjee is taunting us.
Nothing more than a qualitative marketing profile. Whether your line is boots, carbonated beverages, or civilian firearms, your job is to develop products that people will incorporate into their identities so deeply they can't see where their personality stops and our branding begins. Chairman Soren van Wyk remarks during conference call with senior product managers.
Okay. Our espionage counselor has been released from prison.
Prepping for mission.
Things are stabilizing.
Yeah, we're taking hits all over the place because of our control point cap being so low. People all over the world have showed up in order to attack us. Unbelievable. All right, we lost Hungary and Slovakia. All that leaves me is upset, man. Okay, Charles here needs to get washed. Go to ground, my man.
Initiating.
Okay. Our last counselor's been released. We didn't need to reset or save scum in any way. Oh, I mean, the problem is we now need to investigate Charles and Zillerlim because they could have been turned by the enemy during this time to madness and evil, and we still need to wash Zillerlim afterwards because he's a known problem causer. Here we go. Fissile economy is about to start shooting up.
Where to?
Our command operative, Enpura, is also compromised by Protectorate. It's not a good time to be compromised by the Protectorate.
Ready for my mission.
This guy's fresh. He just got done going to ground. I feel like we should be targeting purges against our good Protectorate friends who are taking our useful stuff from us.
Targeting the opposition.
Standing by for orders.
Might as well wash this guy as well.
Going silent.
Get him out of the public limelight.
Evading pursuit.
Okay, Europe is still a mess.
Securing our
We're
control.
way under cap again.
Orders?
And the thing is, we didn't really control Hungary or Slovakia, so losing them is not really a big deal. Losing control over the entirety of the Netherlands is not great, and the Protectorate have really smothered themselves down in there, giving themselves very strong position. Not so good. I think we're going to manage to get Ukraine back under our sole control. That'll be good to have. We still have unification with Romania on the table, but they're building their funding, so they're still cooking. We're not quite ready. And on top of that, we are back at 5 cohesion. All right, so we are ready to also invite them in. We can add Albania, but not Northern Macedonia, to our list of friends. So I think we'll do that. We'll go ahead and get Albania into the EU again.
Time to make our move.
What's the op?
See what else we might want to do here.
We'll turn down the heat.
Ready to go. On the way to the target site.
I'm here.
We're also going to
Heading
deal
there
with
now.
both the current alien activities. Wow. Incredible. So the servants actually controlled India, which is wild. They probably concentrated a huge portion of their power there. They were just overthrown by Humanity First, and most of the points are free and open. This must have been a wild-ass criticals. Oh, it's because they're a guerrilla war. Yeah, the Humanity First is not popular there, but the servants let this get away from them. That was probably a crushing blow to their control point use. Yeah. Wow. Imagine losing all of India. Anyway, I gotta pick up the pieces back here in Europe.
Guys,
Mission abort.
What the doctor means is that he has convinced atoms to emulate a Spartan phalanx. Just as those ancient warriors locked their shields together to protect one another, these atoms combine into unbreakable armor. Colonel Hans Castillo, touring a classified R&D facility in Tierra del Fuego.
Alright, we're looking to pick up quantum computing, which will unlock the ability to get research campuses. At the moment we get research campuses, we will have started, I I suppose we also need to get the settlement core and orbital core, the T2 cores. We can't build the campuses without them. But once all of that precursor is done, we will have ended the early game and entered a new phase of the middle game. Now, let's be clear. The things that we want at that time are going to be different. Initially, we wanted tons of boost. Now we want tons of mission control going into the middle game. We're going to want a lot more ops because we're going to be performing a ton of ops maneuvers. What else? Rather than orgs that give boost or give mission control, we're going to want orgs that give space mining bonuses. Space mining bonus is now going to be one of the most highly desired things, and some of the second stage, so there's like a wave of orgs that release over time that are better than like first generation orgs. We're going to want them because they have higher science bonuses and they have better space mining bonuses.
Our people have taken control.
Our interests.
Ready for
Okay.
order.
We've been chasing this initiative counselor across Europe for a while. He has a loyalty level of 2. We're going to try to flip him and get intel on his organization. Maybe that'll help us sort of recoup some of the losses we've been suffering lately. Things are not going the best here. That whole scuff up with the criminals, Zilalim, and all that has put us in a really shitty... And then, of course, failing the assassination all at once has put us in a bad spot here.
Terminating the
We're
opposition.
struggling to get Ukraine back from the servants, and we kind of really need it back quite badly. It's not the only place we need back, but it's the one we need right now. And I guess we still need to get Northern Macedonia into the Federation of the EU. I hate to use my command counselor to do this, but
On my way to the capital.
running thin on options.
Making things safe for our people.
We have gained an agent.
Okay. We did manage to get this
Prepping for
guy.
our next mission.
Please keep me safe.
We're going to set him to 0% failures, so hopefully the initiative won't detect him for a while. We now know everything about all their agents, and we can clearly see that they're interfering with our operations in Switzerland. Looks like they're also trying to get some stuff done in China as well. Awesome, awesome. We're going to be fighting over Ukraine for a while. Okay, I can see part of the problem in Ukraine here is that the aliens have become super popular and the resistance is no longer popular at all. I think an alien visited here and really screwed around with everything.
Making our case.
All right, we've completed the Alien Movements Project. By studying residue found in the vicinity of reported alien sightings, we have established that rather than sweating liquid as humans do, the aliens dissipate heat in a similar manner to dry ice sublimating from gas to solid to gas, sorry. Fortunately for us, tracking this is relatively straightforward. During the peak of the global war on terror, most nations were already using forward-looking IR, infrared, FLIR, to detect biological aerosol threats. By expanding the quantities and capabilities of such systems, we will be able to detect the presence of this alien byproduct in real time.
An important breakthrough, Commander. We can track them now.
We have combined old-fashioned satellite coverage with some newly developed technology designed to detect aliens via their biological signatures. As more intelligence agencies and telecommunications companies join our cause, our tracking network is expanding to cover the entire globe. It's crude, and we're having to depend on a lot of people whom I don't trust very much, but if we're right, it'll give us the capability to track alien movements on Earth in real time. Let's see if it works. We now need to acquire an alien corpus. So we gotta shoot and kill. Once we find one of them bad boys. We have learned all we can from remotely studying our enemy. To go further, we need an actual alien specimen. As yet, we have no idea how to protect ourselves from whatever mechanisms the alien used to enthrall humans. So our solution is to render the alien unable to enthrall us by killing it. A few of our researchers have objected to carrying out what amounts to an assassination mission, but given how many humans have died in this conflict already, the majority of our personnel are less squeamish. It is important, however, that we do not execute this operation in a casual manner. The aliens and their human allies have no doubt become aware of our efforts, and it seems likely we are inviting retaliatory strikes when we go forward. Well, we need a new project, and there are quite a few of them on the market here. It's hard to know exactly which ones are going to be the best spend. We need cheap ones that are very useful, but I think we also need settlement core and orbital core. Maybe we already got orbital core, I'm not sure, but we'll get settlement core because it's one of the prerequisites for research campuses. Wow, those mines are really starting to come in now.
They won't be causing us.
There we go. Another servant counselor assassinated.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Violence
Time for them to stop fucking around in our Ukraine. Boy, there sure are a lot of people fucking around in Ukraine, though. Look at that.
Tell me your orders. Mission complete.
Here we go. Agents of the Resistance have positively identified an intelligent alien operative in the Vilnius region of the European Union. We may attempt to target this being with missions before it goes into hiding. This is Xenoform Alpha 6. Look at him. He's horrifying. The Hydras. Great. We're losing Ukraine again. Unfortunately, we literally have more important things to do right now. We gotta get this alien.
Making things safe for our people.
Where do you need me?
Okay. Our investigator is going to hard stick to this alien.
Initiating surveillance.
Where do you need me?
How about our shooter? That's not good. That's a bad shot right there. We need more info.
Investigating target.
Ready for my mission. Targeting the opposition.
Ready to go.
Is our command counselor compromised? I feel like she's just getting tons and tons of people hanging on her right now.
Evading
Horrible.
pursuit.
I mean, there's probably also a bunch of people operating in the outskirts of the central EU just constantly running missions on us.
Hunkering
We're
down.
gonna send her to Portugal and see if we can finally get rid of some of these ops running on her. So the alien moved
Securing our interests.
exactly one
Initiating.
country sideways here.
Tracking field.
Well,
Nothing unusual found.
when it was in our territory, we had a much better chance, but now that it's in protectorate territory, it has a greater ability to escape our sight. Unfortunate. Did that say Russia declared war on Vietnam? Local explorers have happened upon a strange obelisk in the wilderness near Vilnius. An obelisk that is a tall, vaguely pyramidical object with a surface of cool, smooth metal. People on the scene report hearing an eerie hum and feeling uneasy in the presence of the obelisk. This is certainly worth looking into in light of recent developments, but how should we go about it? We can seal the area off and probably nothing will happen. We can order it demolished. We're not the servants and we do not have exotic materials yet. So we're probably just going to go ahead and order it demolished. We got a bunch of science as a result. Not bad.
Mission aborted.
Boy. Gosh, the after effects of those double captures still echo into the future. We just cannot catch a break here. We are way down on our cap. Wow. All right. I mean, we don't have any choice. We got to follow this guy around and keep. You see, we have a pretty high. I mean, this guy's got a 13 investigation. We've put a pretty good amount of investigatory points, and now we have diverted some into administration. He's still not making any headway. These aliens are very difficult to get a handle on early on.
I'm here.
Okay.
Making things safe for our
Well,
people.
Moldova is ready to get folded into the EU. It's just not a unification candidate yet, but it is. It's there. It's on the verge. How about Romania? You guys ready? Not yet. You need more time to cook. Is there any place I can make some small?
Acknowledged.
So we might as well defend the Netherlands.
Securing our control.
Acknowledged. We'll recon the site.
At your service. On the way to the target site.
Securing our control.
Okay, the alien is back in our
Securing
territory.
interests.
And now would have been the time to launch an assassination attempt, but
We've got some intel on our target.
okay. We finally have some knowledge about it. So it has the hard target ability, which means that critical failures on a detain or assassinate will result in the attacker's death. So anytime we're sending somebody to deal with this guy, we have to have them protected so that they don't automatically die because of the low chance of succeeding and the high chance of critically failing. What it means is this guy's a major pain in the ass. He's got a bunch of orcs. I remember seeing Boodies pretty early on, but he also has salamander shock troops. See all the weirdness of these Hydra agents. We got the first asteroid base, gives us a big boost. And we've completed the project Defend the Earth. Since its inception, the ultimate intention of our movement has been something of an open question. Yes, we exist to keep the Earth safe from the Hydra, but is that enough? After a great deal of soul-searching, debate, and meticulous projections into how future extraterrestrial incursions might play out, and the dark paths our species might walk in consequence, we have found fresh purpose. Our plan is to not only put an end to this invasion, but also to remove humanity from the alien sphere of influence. We have plus 40 control points, and we have a new org.
Our path is clear, Commander.
Under the alien invasion, our world has fractured. Some parts of humanity have chosen to submit, aiming only to survive. Others have sought to take advantage of the situation to advance their own personal agendas. Others have decided that the only path to victory is to either destroy the aliens or to turn the tables and enslave them in return. A common theme that we hear from all of them is a conviction that the old ways do not work, that to withstand this crisis, humanity must change and become something new. We have chosen to reject this belief. We do not believe, as humanity first do, that humanity must become violently xenophobic, nor do we agree with the Academy that we should sacrifice our lives to defend a race of ruthless slavers. We do not think that human society needs to be remodeled around corporations in the name of profit, nor that it needs to become a theocratic or totalitarian world government. We just want to be left the hell alone and go back to living sane, normal lives in our home countries, without the constant threat of alien invasions or coups or attempts at world conquest. The other factions may disagree on almost everything, but in one important respect, they all are exactly alike. They're all lunatics with delusions of grandeur who think they know better than everyone else. And so this is our decision. Our goal may not change the world. Our goal is to stop the alien invasion, and nothing more. Human society will be transformed by this conflict, that is inevitable, but the nature of that transformation is a matter for individual countries to choose for themselves. If we can protect our world and preserve the independence of our species, that is enough. Brave and bold words. You can see we now have the special activities section. It gives a bunch of bonuses. We may actually give this to our assassin. I'm going to be honest with you. We may give this to our assassin right now. So that gives us extra administration. It gives us 3 administration, so we can pull 3 administration away, unequipping it, and give that to somebody else. Now let's see how we're doing here. I don't know that any of these are very good to pick up. +3. This isn't bad. CERN is not a bad pickup, actually. Okay, Serbia, Kosovo is ready to join the EU. So we're going to divert this into a national policy mission.
Heading to the capital.
We have a assassination attempt set up on the aliens. If it doesn't move too much, if it stays in the EU, we have a not unreasonable shot. It looks like he's staying. Oh my god. I forgot to put the command agent for hard target.
Person of interest surveilled.
To do protect. Oh, but we didn't need it. We got him. We've eliminated Xenoform Alpha 6 of the aliens. They're going to be so pissed, though. Their alien hate threat meter is about to skyrocket. Few among us ever have believed this day would come. Not only inarguable proof of life from another world, but the successful retrieval of an intact alien body, ours to study at our leisure. Returning it to our labs has been a challenge, however. Its cellular structure began to deteriorate at an alarming rate, which we believe to be due to some sort of genetically programmed failsafe, presumably to prevent this race's enemies from learning more about them. Fortunately, we were well equipped enough to quickly transfer the corpse into cryogenic storage, at which point only its outermost extremities had succumbed to necrosis. More problematically, the pathologist tasked with the initial assessment of the body fell into an inexplicable stupor. The effect dissipated within a few hours and did not repeat. A full post-mortem may now begin.
We've taken one down, Commander.
We have acquired an alien corpse for study, though not without casualties of our own. The target alien was neutralized with minimal collateral damage, and the recovery team arrived within the allotted window. Unfortunately, during the process of securing the alien corpse for transport, it revived and attacked. The leader of the recovery team was killed by a single blow from one of the alien's upper appendages, and 2 more suffered serious injuries while attempting to flee. At this point, our strike team re-engaged the alien, fired on it until it went down a second time, and continued firing into the body until they ran out of ammunition. Some cautious experiments led them to conclude the alien was finally dead, at which point the body was recovered without further incident. Shortly before he was killed, the recovery team leader, a biologist, said that the alien's facial structure reminded him of microscopic organisms known as hydras, which themselves are known to regenerate from injuries. In the absence of any other description of the invaders, the name has quickly proliferated throughout our research and operations division. Now, in earlier, the Defend the Earth mission referenced the name hydras. Unfortunately, I believe you're supposed to research that after you do this. It's just that I'm kind of speed running the story because I know how important it is to get those high-level orgs. Anyway, So we finally got our first alien and put him in a body bag. Put him in a body bag, Johnny! Our Xenobiology Division is preparing to conduct an autopsy of the alien corpus. While the Chief Examiner is confident there are no processes indicative of life or hibernation still present in the corpse, we have issued standing orders that an armed guard be present for all Hydra autopsies. So when hydrobiology comes up, we're going to need to research that. I believe we are in a position now to get back to...
Policy direction complete.
Serbia, Kosovo. Get back to recapturing European nations. Getting ourselves back underway. France has become slightly unbalanced here. Sorry, I said France. The European Union has become slightly unbalanced as it pulled in Serbia, Kosovo. Oh, we're locked out of Europe, out of Ukraine. Not good, not good. All right, maybe we can try for the Netherlands.
Ready to go. Securing our control.
Switzerland as well. Not the best, not the best.
Securing our control.
Okay.
Standing by for orders.
We want to cause a crackdown on that point.
Turning up the heat.
And we want to run a
Where to?
purge on that point as well.
At your service.
That leaves us with our command counselor. They are known to the aliens now. You can see they have an alien marker. That's really quite bad.
Going off the grid.
She is constantly getting ping. Her security level is so high. Maybe I need to start raising her espionage or something. Like, this is a problem.
Securing our interests.
We're probably going to call an end to this particular episode pretty
Going into
soon.
hiding.
Killing the alien is really a huge highlight for an episode that started with Mars Needs Moms, but the next big mission is going to be capturing an alien alive, which means that Zelalim Abdemelek will now need tons and tons of investigation. So we need to stop raising his admin and start raising his investigation, because we're going to need him to do some huge swings on aliens. The good news, though, is that because we killed the alien operating in the EU-Russia area, West Asia, that means that the alien operations here will stop until another crashed landing comes down here. Probably. Hey, we got control of them there, Denmark. Nice. There's something not rotten here in the state of this Denmark. That's all I gotta say. Looks like Moldova's ready to enter the EU as
Standing by
well.
for orders.
What's
I
the
think we may as well get that
Ready for
underway.
orders. Time to make our move.
Acknowledged.
Just unbalance the EU a little bit more, claiming more and more territory, sovereignty, complete sovereignty. Any cool European nations we can force our way into here real quick? Everybody mobbed up so quickly, it's kind of hard.
ready for orders?
All right. Could try to take Latvia. That's a solid nation. We can probably absorb
Moving
that
our enemies.
fairly
Ready for
quickly
orders.
comparatively.
Restoring order.
Ready
Ah.
for orders.
This guy is also... Where is he located right now? Why are you pinged by the aliens? Boy, they are pissed, dude.
Going silent.
I'm here.
Aliens so mad. They're so beefing with me right now.
Taking it to them.
All right. We're going to call it here. Mars needs moms. Mars is quickly becoming full of moms, and all of our bases, we're starting to pull in significant amounts of space resources. And you can see as we square up against other factions, they have nowhere near the level of resources we're pulling in. We have 1,000 water. Several of them aren't even producing water. They're just consuming it. We are so far ahead of everyone else in the space race, and we are almost fully capped out. You know what? Let's fully cap out. Let's just go ahead and commit right here, right now, to taking another Mars base. I don't know. I think we had one of those noble metal. We had another noble metal thing, right? Here we go. 250 Bertina. Can we build there? That's pretty good. It's got a solid supply of regular metals as well. But let's put an outpost down. Sure, let's do it. 677 days. It's gonna be a long time before this becomes useful. 250 Bettina nobles. What? And we'll zoom out for a second, take a look at where this bad boy is comparatively. We're gonna put a... No, I don't want to make this a military target. I don't want the aliens to consider this a good one. Wow, this is our farthest out point so far by quite a bit. 250 Bettina is in the like mid to inner asteroid belt. Not the Kuiper belt, but we could use this as a launching off point for Jupiter, actually. This could be a good refuel. Oh, it looks like Project Exodus picked up 16 Psyche, which usually is a very good source of metals as well. Good on them, good on them. Here's Ceres. Nobody's got Ceres so far. I guess the probe is still making its way there. It'll be there in a few months. I'll probably try to capture it because, as you know, I'm trying to cut off everybody else's sources of water to make them use tons and tons of boosts that they don't have to get heavy-ass water up into the air. But, yeah, that's where we're at right now. Mars is full of people. It's full of industry. Our research is about to transition into the mid-game. As soon as we get quantum computing and pick up the research campuses, we're hard charging towards tier 2 settlements, HABs, orbitals, all that stuff so that we can throw down research campuses wherever we can. That will hyper accelerate our ability to achieve parity with the aliens or near peer status. We're about to enter the mid game, and we want that 6th agent because boy, we are really struggling for action points right now. And it's crazy because we have one big nation that isn't that hard to control, but all these small countries in Europe are constantly getting taken from us. So yeah, we are exactly 100 points undermanned in control points. We really need to get back out there and start stripping people of their spots in Europe. Wow, this outro took like 5 minutes.